Shri Satyendra Kumarji, great environmentalist, and the organizers have used the word green advocate, green lawyer. I don't know whether it is professionally acceptable to Mr. Mehta, but I am sure that if you permit, we'll use the word the green lawyer for a moment. Rai Saab, Vallabhbhai Saab, the founder Vice Chancellor, probably who has decades of Vice Chancellorship, Professor P.B. Sharma. Vallabhbhai Saab, the Vice Chancellor, and the organizing secretary, Dr. Jitendra Nagar. Distinguished guests, the organizing committee team led by Dr. Chawla and Dr. Nagendra, student volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished participants. Thank you so much for having come all the way to participate in this conference, the second day. And we are close to our conference with Dr. Bhim Ambedkar College as a knowledge partner. But before really go forward to take up the conference matter which has been provided as an input to me as a part of the conference presentation, I would like to add that we have such a brilliant and distinguished guests on the left-hand side. We have the policymakers, we have the judicial system with us, we have the activists, we have the academicians, and we have the institution builders. I think this is a combination which is very deadly combination in the sense that sometimes when we talk about the activists these days, we talk in the negative sense. But I am sure that the environmental movement which started way back in 1984, 85, 86, but Mr. Mehta was the one who took the lead and went into a number of petitions to fight against the pollution lobbies and the polluting industries. So thank you so much for having come on. The Honorable Justice Satyendra Kumarji, a legal luminary and a decent human being. Above all, he has taken a number of decisions which are unparalleled in bringing environment improvement in different levels. So thank you so much for having come all the way to bless this gathering. We have years or so, he is helping a number of ways, extending consultancies and also working for the improvement of the general health of environment of this country. So thank you so much for having come all the way. If you look at the recognitions and awards, in fact, none of them is the one who has not got the international or national awards. Padma Shri, Magsaysay, you name any, in fact, you'll find that this, on my left-hand side, all those outstanding and distinguished persons and personalities have been awarded all those recognitions. So all, thank you so much for having come all the way to bless us. Now, as far as this presentation of the conference is concerned, you'll be very happy to know that the total number of abstracts received were more than 435. And the success rate was just above the average 65%. And number of countries represented 5, number of participants around 650, and states represented 22, and different institutions 50. Total number of papers presented were 142, in addition of the post representations 141. there were about 15 different sessions, and number of papers which are grouped into different themes are the 7. We have the biodiversity, which has got around 20 papers. We have climate change around 30. We have air pollution around 60. We have renewable energy 40. We have sustainable development 65. Biotechnology 50. Environment health 80. And as a result of this, if you look at the environment performance of India, it is very miserably placed. The environment performance, which comes out of 2 main components, the economic system vitality and services and environment health. If you look at this index, which is globally known to us to 2020, we are at the lowest rung of the ladder. Now, having said so, let me come back to some of the broad conclusions. But before I say that before I arrive at those conclusions, something which is very, very important, that we are really lucky that in this conference we have a number of vice chancellors who participated. We have the institutional directors, 4 to 5, who participated. We have the medical doctors who participated. We have the bureaucrats who participated. And we have the investors participated. And we have also the scientists. I am sure that the kind of report which ultimately will come out of their guidelines, inputs, information will be helpful to the government in policy designing. And I broadly look at it, what you find is that the environment performance is really an important indicator of sustainable human development. It combines not only environment as such, but it combines environment health and ecosystem vitality and services. Of course, both are in bad shape in India. Still, the green line and the silver lining is that the GHG emissions are lower than the average global levels. But this does not mean that we should be lazy on the front of environment performance. If you look at the climate changes, the different kind of studies which the different participants have presented, that the one important conclusion which comes out of it, that climate changes are seriously affecting the average temperature levels, rainfall, and number of dry days. As a result, the most disadvantaged sections are subject to a number of socio-economic and health problems. And the younger generation probably has more responsible, being the future generation. We will be affecting the human lives. And we will also be affecting the coexistence of the non-livings. Having said so, I think the broad conclusion, I still remember one of the statements which, if Honorable Justice Satyendra Kumarji allow me to say, one sentence which he said was, no individual can build up an institution, they are built on the strength of a community. I think this fits well in the case of environment protection. Until unless we evolve a national culture, a national community with the defined mindsets through the institutional structures which could follow enforceable, accountable, and ethical framework in a manner that nobody is left behind. I repeat, nobody left behind. This also requires creating green jobs, addressing issues of quality of economic growth, inequities, climate change, and technology advances which are being seen in the fourth industrial revolution which the global world is facing. This probably is possible if we start exploring a new economic model based on circularity principle to create an economy of mutual respect and dependence in which waste is reduced, recycled, and reused. Probably we need to look at a kind of economic model which is known as circular economy. Until unless, because given the kind of socio-economic political setup of this country, we cannot divorce environment from the socio-economic political conditions of this country. And if that is a background, then the only way out, which I understand as a student of economics, is that we need to look into the circularity principles in which every single human being evolve into a society which is mutually respectful and mutually allows coexistence to all of us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And once again, sir, Rise Up is part of Global Harmony Alliance, and I was just wondering that we have such inputs coming from their side would be very enlightening and useful, interesting for all of us. Once again, thank you so much.